RNA DNA synthesis, it means thiamine, which is an amino acid. The protective coating on the nerve endings, the methylation. Not methylation. It's myelination. That's the myelin sheath. That's the sheathing over the nerve endings, and with MS that deteriorates. Okay, so we've talked too about coconut oil plays a big factor in this. Essential fatty acids. Remember that the outside of every cell in the body is coated with what? It's coated with omega-3 oils. So in order to get something into the cell, you need something that is a oil-based, whether it be a fat-soluble vitamin, ADE, or your omega-3s. So best sources: salmon oil, fish oil, krill oil, superior. It's excellent. If you're taking 4 fish oils a day, you only need 1 krill oil. That's it. 1. Okay. So this myelin sheath is built back up by fat, because the brain is predominantly lecithin, which is a fat. Okay, when this methylation is disturbed and not functioning properly, you're lacking specific nutrients. You're lacking zinc. You're lacking magnesium, B6, niacin, B12, folic acid. One of the great things to use is ionic minerals. Ionic minerals are all of the minerals and trace minerals as how they occur naturally in nature. And all of these can be purchased at kingdomofhealing.com. There's one product on herbalmedicinedr.com, the DDS. That's the essential oil, DDS. There's scientific proof on it correcting RNA damage.
Wow. Okay.
It's called DDS.
Okay.
And you mix that with some coconut oil, and you rub that over whatever particular organ, where the organ lies beneath the skin. That's the area of skin that you're putting that onto.
Okay.
You can also take DDS internally, and it's so concentrated. It's like I've said, these essential oils are 50 to 70 times stronger than herbs. So the DDS formula costs about $55. That DDS formula, you can put a couple of drops into 10, 12 ounces of water and drink that. Drink that down.
So when you're talking
twice a
1
day.
or 2 drops, that bottle's going to last a long time.
It's going to last a long time. It might cost $55, but there are so many drops in that
you're actually only talking really pennies per drop.
It's really, yes, very much so. So, you're missing if you take too much glutathione, some people think that oh God, if it's good, then it's that old way of thinking. If one's good, 20's better.
Yeah, right.
Well, you take a whole bunch of B6 or B12 without all of your other B complex, you're not doing your body any good. If you take a bunch of glutathione, because you heard the glutathione is important for the immune system in shutting down cancer in the body, and you're taking high amounts of that, you're messing up your cysteine levels in that. So amino acids are the same way. You don't take your amino acids and your B complex, and you know what? Amino acids and B complex are the most important thing on being able to deal with a methylation problem in the body. Okay, so they are the key, most important of the nutrients, your amino acids and your B complex. So if you do a whole complete amino acid combination, and I like Food Source. Super LG. You can get it at kingdomofhealing.com. Super algae. It has chlorella in it. Chlorella is amazing. It is just, it's over the top.
How many different type of amino acids? I was going to say 17 or...
Well, we have our essential amino acids, and we have our non-essential. There's 8 essentials.
Okay.
If we have our 8 essential amino acids, our body will make the non-essential. But if you have a methylation process problem and a damage to the MTHFR gene, then you're not going to be able to do the conversion very well. So the best thing to do is your super algae. A B complex, a whole complete B complex. Add to that B12 and folic acid, okay, if you need to. The other thing is you can create, a lot of people get put on antacids. And antacids destroy the B12, and they destroy the SAMe that occurs naturally in the body. So...
You just made me realize something that might be wrong with my wife.
Here we go. Here we go. So, antacids.
She takes a lot of them, and she feels like she has no energy.
Well, there's no B12. It destroys her B12.
So we need to get her some B complex.
A whole complete B complex. Stock number 1778-9. It's a therapeutic level. It's a high potency B complex. And then what we might want to do is we want to do some enzymes. So we're talking about, this methylation process needs not only RNA and DNA, and it needs B complex, and those are the it needs cofactors, those cofactor nutrients, the B complex. Okay, that is needed with that. The enzymes, we really need to get her on enzymes in order to break things down. So, so there's heavy toxins in the body. They suck up these methyl groups. So being too toxic, charcoal not only purifies and pulls all those toxins out of the water, charcoal also traps and pulls out all these man-made poisons that are in your body. So, rule of thumb, 1 capsule for 50 pounds.
Okay.
On charcoal. So, 1 capsule for 50 pounds. If you weigh 150 pounds, you take 3 capsules before you go to bed. You weigh 200 pounds, you take 4 capsules. 250, you take 5. If you're talking about a child, what do they do in the emergency room if your child gets into something that they shouldn't have, and it can be damaging to the liver? Hey, they're stirring up charcoal and they're drinking it, and you as a parent have to stand there with a smile on your face and encourage them to drink it all. And it's hard.
Man up, young one.
So I want to go through, I want to go through some of these things that. Over 50 different conditions. And we've all heard of Fragile X syndrome. Boys are XY chromosome.
Right.
Girls are XX. Fragile X syndrome, that's why a lot more genetic problems happen with boys. They are XY chromosomes, so congenital. They are born with these problems, the abnormalities, mental retardation, and other abnormalities. It's the Fragile X because they're an XY. girl babies are stronger because they're XX. However, we hear about Fragile X syndrome, but we don't really hear a lot about what's called RIT, RIT syndrome, or Rett syndrome. It's RETT.
Oh.
And RETT,
okay.
It's not RIT, it's Rett. Rett syndrome affects girls. And it is part of the Fragile X abnormality, which comes from the genetic coding of the MTHFR. Okay, so I want to go through some of these problems that come from the damage of the methyl groups in the body. And diabetes is one. So if you're dealing with diabetes, you have a problem with methylation breakdown in your body. Cancer, pulmonary embolisms, a cleft palate.
Oh, and that's horrible.
Spina bifida.
That's horrible too.
Autism. Parkinson's disease.
That's horrible.
Neural tube defects. You know what I mean? Neural tube defects are on the rise. Neural tube defects ends up ultimately with malformation of the brain. It takes place with the fetus during prenatal life. They are born missing areas of their brain.
Wow.
Neural tube defects. It is becoming epidemic. Epidemic. It is becoming epidemic. This is something that was like 1 in 100,000 pregnancies. It's becoming very common.
Wow. That's
this
scary.
Is a problem. This shows how important it is to plan a pregnancy, to get your body cleansed, built, strengthened before you conceive. And it is so important to take care of your health meticulously and protect yourself from things while you're pregnant, because what you take for granted in everyday life could be severe consequences for your unborn child. You know, and it's like, it's like NutraSweet. It's such a poison, and you know, now it's just been given a whole new name. So it's because everybody knows now how bad it is, and this is also NutraSweet is a chemical toxin that can affect this methylation within the body and damage the MTHFR gene. And like I said, there's 2,500 research studies that are out there. And so this is just scratching the surface. This is just to bring an awareness to you. I want to continue with this. Arteriosclerosis, immune deficiencies, ADD, ADHD, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, dementia, chemical toxins in the body, congenital heart defects, strokes, epilepsy, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, depression, alcoholism, addictive behavior has to do with a methylation disturbance. Okay? Addictive behaviors, insomnia, Down syndrome, chronic viral infections, thyroid dysfunctions, neuropathies, recurrent miscarriages, infertility, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar, allergies. You know, heart disease responds very well to the amino acid arginine. Arginine creates nitrous oxide, which creates the homeocysteine significantly in the body. So the majority of people are unknowingly carrying a genetic mutation that can lead to significant health challenges.